So today we are going to talk about unlocking partnerships. And I've got Lou Bramston with me from VMware. Lou, do you want to give us a quick 30 seconds?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Louise Bramston. I'm based in Sydney. I've been working in vendor or our channel ecosystem here in ANZ for about 25 years. It seems a really long time. And mostly during that time, it's been in training and enablement, learning, programs, marketing. So I'm hoping that I can share some insights today around unlocking partnerships and looking at how do we get the right partners and how does marketing and how does marketing and training kind of interlink?
Fantastic. Fantastic. Can't be. I'm really, really happy to see you with us. I know we've been planning for this for, I don't know how long,
Yeah.
like 2, 3 months.
Yeah.
We're finally here. And look, the whole point of this exercise is channel ecosystem or building a channel ecosystem. It's a complex place, right? There's so many permutation and combinations that take place within the tech partnerships, especially in the tech world. There are small partners, there are smaller solutions, there are bigger partners, there are bigger vendors. There are so many things that could happen, and then there is a certain journey that you need to follow as how you're building this entire ecosystem. So no better way than talking about how this unlocking of tech partnerships work. And today we are going to be talking about the initial stages of how recruitment, onboarding, and enablement play like a perfect symphony. And you need to have that right sort of ideas on how you're going to build those plays together, right? So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Sandeep Joshi. I'm the strategist at Measurable Impact. We are a tech B2B marketing agency, so we work a lot into the channel space, um, predominantly with the vendors and, of course, with the business partners and building structured programs for them. So, before we begin, I wanted to start with a crazy number. I talk about joke later on, but we'll start with. I know I'll start with it's always scary. So, I want to show you something that here we go, it's on the screen. So this is some analysis that has come from Canalys, so which is like a big research firm and an analyst firm, and they are focused completely on the channel side of the business in the tech world. Their prediction is this year alone in 2024, almost $5 trillion worth of IT spending globally will occur, and almost 75% of that will be going through the partners, like the ecosystem. So that's almost like three and a half, like $3.6 trillion is going to go through the tech partners. So it's a scary number.
Big number. And I think finally people are realizing how important our channel ecosystem is to vendors. It's very important.
It
Huge
is, it
opportunity.
is, it is very important. And you know what the biggest problem is? Like, again, not every vendor, but we talk about channel partnerships and recruitment and drives and everything. And when we get invited to help them with those plans and strategies, we see that in the channel partner world, the activity is like not 80/20, it's like 95/5. So like almost 5% of your partners will be really active, and the 95% will be a mix of dormant and sort of, I don't know, in terms of inactive and what
Yep,
those
inactive. Yep.
opportunistic.
Yep.
That's the word I was looking for. So with that, I want to
I'm
start this.
waiting.
I know. And by the way, I didn't speak about, I didn't tell this joke to Lou. So I want to see, this is the lamest joke on the planet, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, he's been talking this joke up, so here we
I
go.
know. That's how I do. Most of the times my jokes are pretty crap, but knock knock.
Who's there?
Your business partner.
Your business partner who?
Your only active business partner.
Okay, that's pretty funny. You did write that yourself, didn't you?
I did. That's why it's not that great. But in the context of things, like, you see, um, you know, a, like, I've got a client that we're working with, got more than 1,200 partners
Mm,
on their ecosystem. But we're still talking about recruiting new partners, and we're not talking, and we'll touch base on that a little bit in this presentation. It becomes such a huge initiative that you need to be able to have the right plan and the strategies. So we'll kick off by talking about recruitment a little bit. So we'll
yep.
bring on the slide number one for us, and we'll talk about partner recruitment and what does it really mean. And Lou, I know you have a lot of things that we discussed earlier,
Mm,
um, but in my opinion, you have to treat your partners just like you would treat your clients. You
yep.
need to have the right kind of ideal partner profile that you need to work on before you even start thinking about partner recruitment.
Mm.
I feel more than often this one step is probably the most lightly touched on.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I was just thinking while you were saying that, like, if we were to ask vendors today, do you have a partner profile? It'd be interesting to understand how many actually do. And that's actually that's a real conversation that we actually sometimes even have internally at the different vendors that I have worked for, especially when you're launching a new solution or a new product. Well, what's the partner profile look like?
Mm,
And it can stop people in, in their stride because they haven't perhaps looked at it before. It's like, I have a solution, I have a product, I'm going to shove it out to market without that thought of, well, who's going to take it to market? Who is the right partner? What do they look like? So
correct.
whether you've got existing partner ecosystem and you are launching a new solution or a new product, you probably do want to have a partner profile for that. Or if you're a new vendor into a new market, like, talk about geography, we've talked about that before, Sandeep, with vendors coming into a new market, what does your partner profile look like? And I would suggest that you want to think about things like the knowledge and capability of that partner. What does their skill sets look like internally? Do they have technical skills? Do they have business development skills? Do they have their own marketing skills? What does the profile of the people within that organization look like? Also, is the partner, do they have the capacity and flexibility to scale as you need them to scale? What's their coverage model? Where are they located geographically? Also, what's their customer base look like? Are they going to have to go and find new customers, or do they have a strong install base that sits right with your solution or you as a vendor? Um, Also, are they playing in some verticals that you'd like to get into? So I'd suggest that these things are really important to understand before you start recruiting new partners. You might even be able to, like you mentioned before, how many partners are sitting there that are inactive for one reason or another? How do you reactivate them? And if you have a clear profile, you could have existing partners that fit that profile that you've just ignored for whatever reason.
You know why? Because they didn't even have the right details of them, and they would not been communicating. I mean, it would be as silly as that
Yeah, it could be. It
that
could
I've
be.
seen, and it makes us sound like, as an agency, when we get on any vendors, we're not here to just build programs because someone has briefed us, right? I mean, I could be that agency, but we don't want to be that agency, because delivering value becomes so pinnacle of everything we do. Because a lot of times these partners will come back, or vendors will come back and say, right, it doesn't work for that. But if you scratch beneath the surface a little bit, you'll find out they actually have all the answers already. It just needs a little bit of tweaking, and they can reverberate that entire partner portfolio in such a strong way, it's not even funny.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's absolutely spot on. And in fact, you know what, when we talk about treating your partners like your clients, at
Mm,
Measurable Impact, we've actually built like a proper channel leaders guide that we have enabled, and Okay, there you go. That's right on the screen here. How to treat your partners like your clients. There is an ebook that we have launched recently, a few months ago. If you guys want to, get hold of this, just leave me a comment into on the LinkedIn channel, or just email me or ping me, and I'll leave my details over there.
And I love this because this is something, one of the training programs that I did with one of our, when I was sitting in a vendor with our partner business managers. We really, one of the activities that we did, and one of the templates that we used, was really understanding your partner. So like you would a client, understanding, what are their capabilities, where are they located, what are their aspirations? What are their business goals over the next 3 to 5 years? I think you really have to ask the right questions to delve into their business. Keep in mind, as a vendor, and I'm very passionate about this, as a vendor, our business partners are our partners. They're
Yeah.
not necessarily, although in some cases we want to treat them as an extension of our sales force, they can't be told how to run their business. I get very defensive of our business partners within vendors when a vendor says, or someone who doesn't work within the channel in vendorland says, just get your partners to do that. Just tell them that this is how it's got to be. Just tell. And I'm so passionate about there. It's a partnership. They're running a business. They understand their business better than what we do. We should be finding out how they operate, what their aspirations are, so that we can complement them and we support them in that journey. We support them to be successful. And by doing so, obviously, as a vendor, we'll be successful as well.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, what do we really want? We want everyone to be able to do their jobs better, right?
Mm.
And you're spot on. A lot of times, when I'm speaking to business partners or tech companies, I'm saying, look, let your vendor strategically invest in your program than you investing in their program.
Yes.
You be the driver, and I want to help you be the driver, and then you can enable everything that comes in. But again, that's a totally
Yep.
different
That
story.
it is. That could be a
We have a
completely different
typical corporate
conversation.
partner marketing coming soon. But look, once we talk about recruitment and we
Yep.
have the partner capabilities lined up and the industry capabilities, or what kind of customers, I think it has to start with their customers. What kind of customers are they working with at the moment? Is
Yep.
there a perfect fit and all that? Once we do that, then comes the stage, which is stage number two, is when we start to reach them. How do you reach those partners, right? Again, in my opinion, one of the key things that I've seen over the years is you have got probably thousands of partners in your partner ecosystem who are signed up, and all they got is a link to go and sign up to the partner portal. And am I allowed to use F bombs? No, but
No, not in front of me.
they go into that partner ecosystem, or whatever the partner portal there is, and they are confused. They have no freaking idea what the hell are they looking at. It's so complex. There's so much information. They're overwhelmed to the point that they have no idea what to do with it. There's too much going on, right? And then they sign things up, and then you start getting some emails coming from the partner to sign up for this, sign up for that, and then there is no sort of place. So in my opinion, the first stage is to sanitize your own partner ecosystem. There might be around 500 partners who might even be in the right profile stage or somewhere in between. There is never a yes or a no answer, but you need to probably look at what you have first before you start
Mm.
talking about recruitment in the first place. And I bet you can actually solve a lot of questions even before you start recruiting them.
Yeah. And I think typically, all of us are guilty of it. Keeping the data up to date, relevant, going and spending time sanitizing it, like you said. I mean, I think sometimes you mention that to salespeople or to partner business managers, and it's a chore, right? It's like they don't have time to do that. I get it. I totally get it. However, how much more effective can someone like marketing engine be, or even from my perspective, when I'm doing training and enablement events, if I actually really understand, the personas and the people within that partner that I need to target for the right training, so that instead of it becoming a scattergun approach where we're just, reaching out to, that whole thousand, we can actually be very specific on who we're targeting, and then it becomes relevant and it makes sense. And then you get this, I guess, roll on effect of, oh, the vendor is giving me the right information at the right time for what I need. And again, like I said, whether it's marketing or training and enablement or any type of messaging, I would say, um, you're getting the right information to the right people. And that comes back to making sure your data is correct and that you have the right contacts, or you have the right locations, or whatever that might be, in the databases that you keep. It's really important. That's just basic
I
101 though to me, right?
I agree. And I feel until you have done that, don't even start looking at doing a recruitment campaign,
Mm,
right?
mm,
Like once you have sanitized it and you know, okay, right, I've got ahead of this, my current partner ecosystem is really screwed up. Like none of them meet the partner profile. Then you say, right, then what does it real your partner profile look like, obviously, and then how you now there are a lot of customer forums you can go into. You can obviously do some, again, very targeted outreach programs to these partners. If you try to make this a sales driven thing, it's not going to work.
yeah.
Try to get them into your framework. Try to get them to first be try to test drive what are you trying to do, right? Keep it very simple. Get them in, understand why their capabilities would match your capabilities, or what they bring onto the table that would actually enable them to build more business.
Mm,
We are not here for a reseller partner anymore, right? Reseller partner mode is totally changing. It's not what they want to go for. They want to see if they can do a combination of a few things to
yeah.
build their portfolio.
And I've got to say, I mean, I've worked in some really large global vendors, and I think, we look for strategic partners, right? So yes, there's still the need, and in some cases, depending on what you're selling, we talked about it before, the transactional type, sales cycle. However, when we're talking about solutions, or we're talking about something that has a sales cycle that might be 6 to 12 months, you definitely want to have the right partnerships, to move that along.
Agreed. Agreed. So let's say you've done the first step, which is like building your partner profile. You've
Profile. Yep.
identified who it is. You've gone outreach, and now you start to see people trying to show interest on being a partner, right? And trying to be there. I feel one of the key steps here is the verification stage. A lot of times, what happens is, um, like you rightly said, Lou, it's not about just qualify them in and out. There are multiple combinations here,
Mm, mm,
because again, those of you who are tuned in, I can see there's probably more than 30, 40 people right now watching this on LinkedIn. um, we are not saying that there is one sort of set created that will work for everyone. There is no, it's not a cookie cutter approach. It is very custom built for every product solution, for every vendor, for every partner profile. um, but the most important thing that you need to understand is, if you don't verify the partner before they go into the next stage, which is onboarding, the next people who are going to get involved in your onboarding are your all internal stakeholders and all that, and then they would have spent truckloads of energy, time, blood, sweat, and tears in onboarding partner who are not aligned. So verification stage is the perfect stage where you start looking and sort of qualifying for that alignment. If this is going to be aligned, yes, no, maybe.
yeah. And I think that's really important. And that's what you and I spoke about before. I don't think personally it's a definitive in or out. I think you can scale almost, if for want of a better word, scale, the type of partners that you have. There will be some that absolutely you want that strategic partnership with, and you've qualified them in, and you are going to give them, everything that you might have from a partner program perspective, from time, from energy. You might have, they might have their own, partner business manager, etc. However, you don't want to necessarily rule out, or qualify out all your partners. There could still be some partners who are still very valuable to you. You just will take a different approach. And it might just be that they don't get a dedicated partner business manager, but you still run activities with them. You still want them to come on the journey of training and enablement and certification and that sort of thing. So I think we have to have different touch points for different, different types of partners that you might have in your ecosystem. And being able to understand what that looks like is really important as well. I've seen so many of my PBMs spend a lot of time with partners that are never going to generate or give them the success that they need to meet their number, for example, right?
Mm.
And that particular partner might suck all the energy out of that PBM, and they're not spending the time with the partners that are going to yield them the most return on investment. So, as a partner business manager, being able to understand what your patch looks like and who you're going to spend the most amount of time with based on some of those, those profiling attributes that we talked about, I think it's invaluable.
Agreed. 100%. And especially the ones that suck a lot of time.
Oh, I'm sure there's a better way of saying it. I've said it a couple of times now. Sucking energy, sucking your time, but I can't explain it any other way because
Wow,
they
because
just
we've been
are.
there.
Yeah. Well, that's right. That's what it is. They just are, people or partners that just want everything from you, and yet, they're gonna give you very tiny little return at the end of the year.
It's just the raw energy of the experience that we have come up with.
Uh,
Oh, crazy.
luckily,
So
we're
look,
not jaded yet. We're not jaded yet, Sandy.
no, not well. I mean, we're just starting off, right? So, um, look, fine. So, recruitment, partner profile, onboarding, right? Now, onboarding is where
Yeah.
everything becomes the glue, in my opinion. I feel before you even start talking about enablement, in
Mm,
my opinion, whoever has just joined us, you know, just now or been watching it throughout, if you have not heard us for the entire session, this one step is, in my opinion, the single most critical, crucial step where partnerships fail or thrive, right? If you are able to do this in a very programmatic way of
yeah.
having the right kind of objectives, the right kind of key stakeholders from not just partner land, but also from the vendor land. So your CAMs, your PMs, your partner managers, but then at the partner world, this partner landscape, the CEOs, the head of sales, the pre-sales, the post-sales, the delivery, the marketing, the techies, they all have to have a role to play in how this onboarding takes place, and you need to start working on objectives, milestones, business outcomes, and everything. So, Lou, I know you have probably got a lot to say here.
I think onboarding is really important, and you talked about it at the top of the webinar when we first started. You talked about how, and I've seen this actually happen. A partner wants to start working with a particular vendor. There might be some checks and balances from I don't know, credit history, financial. Basically, they get signed up, and the vendor sends them an email with a link saying, "There you go to our portal. That's our onboarding." Now, do you know how much pressure then that puts on your inside sales or your inside PBMs? You then start getting calls from the partner going, "I don't know where to find this. I don't know how to do this." So, therefore, all of a sudden, you've just dumped on your internal teams all of these questions that they have to be reactive to. So, and I can talk from experience because one of the vendors that I worked in did exactly that. And I was like, there's got to be more to it than this. How can we be more proactive? How can we ensure that when we're signing partners up, we're giving them the information and the how to? Yes, so that they can self serve, but we're not just saying your business isn't important to us, so we're shoving you to a portal. We're actually showing you what's available, how you can be successful with us. And so what I created and designed was an onboarding program that might have taken half a day. could be delivered by anyone, not just me in enablement, but also could be delivered by the partner business manager, could be delivered by marketing. Anybody that sat in our channel team could actually deliver this to a new partner. And the important part was to have, and at the time, this was actually pre COVID, but you could easily do it at webinar if you had to, but face to face is obviously better.
Yeah.
Is having all the right people in the room, like you said, from the vendor, having the partner business manager or delivery or your pre-sales in the room, as well as marketing and support. But from the partner, also having not just the salespeople, but having your technical people, having the marketing people, even having, finance, if that makes sense to have
Hmm.
them in the
Hmm.
room. So bringing the teams together and actually making onboarding something of an activity, because then it creates stickiness and loyalty right from the beginning. You've set the scene of how you want that partnership to go.
Agreed. Agreed. In fact, I remember correctly what, and we've been, and look, I'm not suggesting this is an easy step, right?
No. And it's
But
time consuming, I've got to admit,
it is
right?
it is time
So,
consuming, but it is going to be a lot more time consuming if you have
correct.
missed this step, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Uh,
yes.
the amount of follow-ups and times and
Hmm.
all those misalignments and that your entire team will spend over the next 1 year is very different. So what we start to do is, let's say you onboarded 5 new partners, or they reached that stage after the verification, recruitment, blah blah blah. They've reached the stage where they are now ready to be onboarded. What we used to do is we literally used to do like a speed dating thought process, right? Where we would build programs for every vendor and the PAMs and the CAMs and whoever within the vendor side, so the technical people will know exactly who are the technical people within the partner land.
Hmm.
The salespeople will know who are the salespeople from the partner land. The leadership will know who are the CEOs of the partner land. The marketing people will know who are the marketing people from. Like, we're literally connecting the dots in that workshop, and it might be a 4 hour workshop. But
Yep.
what we will do is once a week, or like once a fortnight, or once a month, if there are 10 new partners onboarded every month, we have this half a day workshop every month. Now, what that does is, not only does it get all your teams to follow a certain discipline,
Which is
right? Which
important.
is super important,
Yep.
because, like we always say, if it's not there in Salesforce, it's not does not exist, or in your
Hmm.
CRM rather.
Yep.
You need to be able to have that kind of discipline. What are the milestones? What is going to happen next? Right? I've spoken to this tech team. What is the next step for them? And how do you now progress to that? Like, it has to be set for the whole 6 months. Put calendar entries
Yeah.
every whatever the touch points are, and they know who they are.
Because Sandeep, I think that onboarding, if it's done properly, it then also sets you up for the joint business planning, right? It enables you to have those I guess, quality joint business plans put in place, which then obviously leads to good quality QBRs. You have no idea how many quarterly business reviews I've been in that amount to nothing or yield nothing or doesn't set you up for. I mean, at the end of the day, setting milestones and next objectives is so important, and understanding who's going to deliver on those is even more important, right? So
Yeah.
I think the onboarding stage sets that joint business planning, those quarterly business reviews, what your next 12 months to 2 to 3 years is actually going to look like as a business. And I think it's really key. The other thing you touched on before, and you'll be surprised how many people don't do this, is having an engagement plan. So, who within from the vendor and with the partner should I be talking to weekly? Should I be connecting monthly or quarterly? And so that might go down to, sales might meet weekly, and same with, technical pre-sales, but all the way up to your C level. How often are they meeting? And if I'm a partner business manager, am I responsible and accountable for those meetings, or do I just enable, I guess, my, C level within vendorland and the C level within the partner to meet? Whatever it is, it's important to have that documented so that you know that there's regular cadence happening. So yeah, I think it's just so important setting the scene at the onboarding stage. And now just even the more we're talking about it, it makes it even more critical that this step is done properly.
Yeah, agreed. So um, if you have missed any of them, we will make sure that there's going to be a live recording or the recording of the live event ready after this. So especially the onboarding part, man. So anyone who has just joined in or who is, I just want a quick small announcement that there'll be recording available. If you don't find it, just leave me a note and I'll do that. So this brings us to the final point, which is probably again a very big point, is where to next, right? And where to next goes into the enablement session. And a lot of times when we, and this is my experience, Lou, you tell me if I'm missing a point here, but
Yeah,
a lot of times as soon as you talk about enablement in the partner line, they'll say, all right, good, I've got these two techies, they're going to come for some technical certifications and off you go, right?
yeah,
In my opinion, enablement is not just technical certs or sales certs. It's about now whatever you discussed in onboarding, the milestones, the plan, the business strategy, the marketing strategy, and engaging the right people within the business. You have to enable each and every aspect of that relationship, right?
yeah.
And then
Uh,
start moving
yeah.
forward.
Yeah. And I think it's about looking at, what best practices are. So yes, don't get me wrong. And, a lot of my career has been working in, with partners in certification, or delivering boot camps and workshops. It actually really doesn't matter what forum you use. But I think it's about setting the tone of what is the best practice. How are we going to help our partners, with that if we're a vendor. Um, and I think we had it up on the list. There's a lots of different modes, right? Like something that we have to be very conscious of is the different learning styles that people have. I think I shared with you before, Sandeep. I'm a very visual person. I like to kind of learn by doing. For example, but there are plenty of people who are happy to read, or people who are time poor. And what we see more and more nowadays are, podcasts and short videos where if you're a salesperson, you can consume some content just before you go in to talk to a customer, for example. So there's lots of different learning modalities, and I think you have to work out what's best for you. And I think if you're a vendor or even a partner, you have to make available the range of different modalities so that people can learn. Um, but yeah, I mean, enablement is about, also for me anyway, is once something is taught or shared, it's how do you then know that it's been put into practice. and
Great.
and I've worked for some great companies who have done this very well. They would have regular enablement sessions where their account managers and their partner business managers could role play, could practice what they had learned in a safe environment. We did quite a lot of, one of the vendors that I was with, we wanted to ensure that our PBMs could take the partner program message to their partners. So we did a lot of practice internally first and gave
Awesome.
that feedback to the partner business managers, so they had the confidence to go and deliver that to their partners. We also created, and I'll share this, and for if there's anyone on here that knows which vendor I'm talking about, I created what I called at the time was cloud circles. So we were struggling with how we messaged cloud and that message. So we created internally what I called cloud circles, where we had a technical person within our organization sit with our salespeople in small groups of only three or four. So it was not intimidating. The salespeople could ask technical questions or could bring actual challenges that they were having with their partners and their customers. So, in a safe space for only an hour, it was a very informal conversation, but we created cloud circles that gave that safe environment for them to talk about the technology, to talk about what the challenges might be that they face, when they're talking to their partners or customers. And that worked really well, and it was really well received. So lots of different things. Like, this is where I like to get creative with my enablement and training and think about, how do people want to receive information, and how is it going to best serve them?
No, and like a final comment on that, what generally happens is when you see a vendor or a distille coming up with this well thought program,
Mm.
they know that you're not just connected with them at a cert level, um, you're connected them at a business level. There is an
Yes.
emotional quotient that gets involved into this, because you
Mm.
know that now you're actually talking about the same things, and they both want each other to grow. It's not just people pushing business why there you go, there's a link for you, and then just let me know once you've finished it. And then now, of course, this needs to get involved, and we've done a lot of this with distributors in the past. But the point is, it has to have that symphony. That's why we have mentioned this, a symphony of recruitment, onboarding and enablement. These are the three absolute key crucial steps before it sort of goes on. Um, this is awesome. I wish I had another joke, a lame joke one, but
No, please don't.
I don't think I'm gonna ever mention that joke. I'm gonna delete it from the from the final video.
Uh,
Lou, that is awesome. How about we just quickly open up if there are any questions online? Let me
sure.
see
I
if I,
can't see, but you can kind of. Oh yeah, there we go.
uh, there is a question I think on
You just
our.
hit me with it. Let's see if we can answer it. It's been a pleasure having this conversation. Actually, like
That's
it's
awesome.
been great to be able to share some insights and experiences that I've had. And I'm sure there's plenty of other experiences and insights out there. But thank you for giving me the opportunity to share mine. Like I said, I feel like I've been doing this a really long time, and I'm very passionate about it. I had some awesome managers within vendors who were very passionate about the channel and the role of channel partners. So I guess I definitely have a bias, and I really care about our channel partners.
No,
So this has
absolutely.
been
And
great to be able to share this with you.
I've just got one question on the phone where someone's just pinged me, and they've asked me that if so. The question is, um, so if we have got the onboarding done, and we know that this is the right, like we've done the, sorry, not onboarding, the verification stage,
Yep.
how do you then plan onboarding with multiple partners?
I think you can do it with multiple partners. And I was thinking that, like, so the success that I had was with one on one with partners where we bring the right people. But I think you just tailor it. If you are going to do one to many, I think you can still take the same principles. There could be some things that you don't delve into. So you might not necessarily talk more about the partner planning stage. That's something you would do obviously separately, but I definitely think that you can do one on many onboarding, right?
Mhm.
It's just tweaking it, and it's just making sure the material that you have satisfies that. I mean,
Yeah.
look, I've had different experiences where I've had where partners don't want to be in the same room as other partners, and a lot of people say that, but I've also had a lot of experience where that's totally okay. And I've had partners from multiple, sorry, contacts or people from multiple partners come into the one location and here. So I think it really just depends on how you tweak your material and what you're delivering. If it's specific and you're asking for partners to give you, information about them during that time, then I would definitely do one on one. But if you're sharing and you're onboarding and you're, teaching them the how to, and enabling it to be easy for them to do business with you, then I think that you can do one on many. And it was remiss of me not to mention a lot of us here probably have distributors that we're working with. Lean into your disties. They are more than capable of doing this with you and for you or alongside you. And that's one of the things, the good distributors that we've got in our industry will be able to share the value of them as a distributor and you as a vendor and actually take that message. So, yes, so that was really remiss of me to say. I would definitely lean into distributors to help you with the onboarding for
I
sure.
want, and even I totally agree. I don't know how I missed that point as
No,
well.
I know, we did. I know. And I'm
Like
sorry because these are
distributors
super,
become a
super
huge
important to
part of
us.
this world. I mean, imagine if they had 10 partners to enable and onboard every month. They'd be
Yeah,
super happy. And
yeah,
it's very custom built for that
yeah,
particular solution play. I think they'll be quite happy, and it would be a really good value add regardless. So,
yeah.
look. I really, really appreciate. I know we have gone a little bit over time, almost 10 minutes.
Oh, have we? Oh, wow. What time
That's
is it? Oh,
okay.
there we
Like,
are.
I could go on, man. Like,
No, so could I. I could talk to you all day long. You know that,
I
Sandeep.
this is more like I could go into marketing. I could go into
Yeah,
incentive programs. There's so much. But anyway, we'll have to keep this for another session. But Lou, thank you so much
my pleasure.
for being a part of this live event.
My
Um,
pleasure. My
it,
first one too. I hope I did okay. This is my first kind of live event podcast that I've done. Obviously, I host a lot of webinars. I actually just did a webinar yesterday with 300 and
there
something
you go.
people,
Well, there
but
you go.
not like this. This is I actually really enjoy this because it is just a conversation, and I've really
Yeah,
enjoyed sharing this with you.
the whole idea is to have a simple fireside chat thought process. Otherwise, we need to bring out what we really feel about things. Then being too
We have been very
too
sanitized, haven't
formal.
we?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Next time we'll be uncensored things as well. But no, look, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If
My
any
pleasure.
one of you out there, oh, hang on a sec. There's another comment before we go. Uh, Okay, great. Great to hear from David Case. And thanks, Lou. Great to hear your experience. Great. So that's great. Good comments coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for the feedback.
Um, I will make sure that I'll package this up together into a nice little recording.
Yep.
For those of you who want to or who have missed it, just send me a quick message and I'll make sure that it's up there. If you also want to avail how to build or how to treat your partners like your clients, the ebook, again, send me a quick note. More than happy to send you that ebook, and it's like a guide and can drive more ideas for you to do that internally. So with that, I'll sort of close this session, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone.